Welcome to A Slob Comes Clean, the podcast. I'm Dana K. White, and this is where I share my personal deslobification process. As I figure out ways to keep my own home under control, I share the truth about cleaning and organizing strategies that actually work in real life for real people who don't love cleaning and organizing. Thanks for joining me today. This is podcast number, I'm going to say it really slowly while I click over to find out which podcast this is. I think it's 306. Is it 306? Yes, it's 306. This is podcast number 306. And I am going to call it When the Size of Your Container/House Changes. So I am talking with one of my kindred spirits today. So I used to stress out over putting too many of these in a row, and y'all go ahead and feel free to give me your feedback on that. But it seems like you guys love these episodes, and so I am making use of the ones that I have recorded because life is bananas right now. I actually spent all day yesterday, and I do mean all day, 7 hours plus traveling an hour each way, recording my audiobook for Organizing for the Rest of Us, which is my book that comes out in January. What? Anyway, so I will talk more about that in the future. Just so you know, it's a gift book, which means it has a lot of the same stuff, but in different format, meaning it has pictures and everything, but it also has stuff in it that you haven't read in my books before. So anyway, that was literally 7 hours talking straight, reading, making lots of mistakes, going back, rereading, with no eating, maybe a little bit of drinking, just water. And I was exhausted. I could barely walk last night. Anyway, but I also wanted to make sure that you know that if you missed the live webinar of my book publishing journey, that was on Tuesday night, if you want to watch the recording of it, before the 19th, you can still watch the recording and then submit questions for the Q&A that will be live in a meeting format, okay, where we'll be looking at each other's faces and stuff on the 19th. So just wanted to let you know, if you missed it, it's okay. Watch the recording and then do that. And I'm doing that recording tonight. So I'm just going to say, and it was great. We had a great time. Because when you're listening to this, it will have already happened. Whatever. Time is a weird thing. Okay. So we are talking about when the size of your house/container changes. So my guest today is one of the kindred spirits. And so she is a patron of the show. You can learn how to be one at patreon.com/A Slob Comes Clean. But her container changed. Her house changed. They moved and it's significantly smaller, and that requires some things to change because, your container changes. It does not work to try to just do everything the same way and with the same amount of stuff as before. So anyway, she's doing great, but we had a great talk. We talk about going routinely through an area and decluttering it. And we talk about ways to be hospitable with a small space. These may not be things that apply to everybody, but we talked about how she can do this. And for you, maybe that would be something that you could take something from and apply in your house, even though I know hospitality in 2021 and 2020 is different than it ever has been. So anyway, all right, here we go. Here is my conversation about changing the size of your container.
All right, Jerry, I'm so glad that you're willing to come on the podcast and, share all of your home issues and everything with the world, or
all of the things. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm very thankful that you're here. Thank you. So tell me a little bit about your unique life situation, which I know has recently become even more unique. Is that correct?
Absolutely. It's been so much fun. So we lived in a 2,500 to 3,000 square foot house in Illinois for better than 4 years. And we loved it so much. And God called us back to Auburn, Alabama to return to kind of our stomping ground where Travis and I met at Auburn University. And now we have 5 children and one on the way.
Oh, congratulations.
And we purchased land and we had options. We were trying to figure out if we should build a small house. That would have taken a lot of time. But right before COVID hit last year, we were able to pull a 900 square foot mobile home onto our property and go ahead and start living there while we built. So we took that first year to begin establishing ourselves and go ahead and get moved in and settled, get all of our animals settled. And it was such a blessing because it was the first time we had all of our animals, everything in one place. All of the critters, all, just everybody and everything.
All within the 900 square
all
feet?
in the same, all within the 50 acres.
Okay.
Let's be specific.
Okay. So tell me, you said that the 900 square foot trailer was a bit of a surprise. So did you get rid of a bunch of stuff before you came? Did you move things? Is it in storage, or where's your stuff in?
Well, luckily I had found you before all of this. I had found you when I was in Illinois and I was struggling with 2 or 3 or 4 small children and trying to get all of the dishes, all of the things done, all of the school done with the children. And I mean, you know what it's like. It's just keeping all the balls in the air. So
it's a very, very busy time of life. Yes.
I had found you before we moved. So I knew when we moved, I could only bring with me what would fit in the container. And so my husband gave me a space to store some furniture, and whatever did not fit, it could not stay. So
did you know that it would be 900 square feet?
We did not necessarily. No, we weren't sure exactly where we were going to be living, where we wanted to be located. So while we were looking for land, we did rent a house in an area that was just a little too far from where we wanted to be. So we were able to, just have that little bit of adjustment time before COVID hit. And then for lockdown and everything, we were able to just establish ourselves here. It was so much fun.
Well, that's good. And I mean, that's a big deal for people like me, not knowing what the next situation is going to look like, to be able to get rid of stuff without having that concrete, exactly where are we going to live, exactly what are we going to need. That's a big deal. Like, I'm proud of you for doing that.
And it takes just one day at a time and one room at a time. And oh my goodness, this isn't going to fit, and this doesn't fit like I wanted it to. I'm going to have to part with this. And being okay with that in trade for living comfortably and spaciously.
Yes.
In our 900 square feet.
Right. Because the reality is you have 8 people in there, or 7 people in there at this point?
7, right? Yeah.
7. Yeah. I mean, y'all need space to be. I mean, just that many bodies and sitting down is going to take an entire floor space of a room. I'm guessing.
Do you remember how much rain we had last spring?
Oh,
yes.
Goodness.
We had to spend so much time indoors. I kept getting rid of things because I knew it was like, this will give us another foot space for children to run around.
That's a great mentality to have. That's really cool. I love hearing that. So tell me, you obviously embrace the container concept, but let's talk about, that or other things that are working well for you in your home, your family, your current living situation.
Okay, so we love the 5-minute pickup so much. We love that pause in the morning right after breakfast where we run around and get all of the things that have just kind of been drug out to that point and get the floor swept up from breakfast. And it doesn't take longer than 5 minutes. With 5 children that are 7 and under, one child rinses the dishes and puts them in the dishwasher. One child cleans up all the toys. One, they have one child will spray the table with the spray and put a clean cloth on the table for me to wipe the table with.
Great. Yeah.
And everyone has their little tasks. And if we run around, I tell them, we said, we don't like to clean up very much. It's not our favorite thing to do. So let's do it quickly.
I think that's great. And I think that sometimes it can be okay, how do we make this work? And sometimes it's just that everybody picks stuff up. But I love that you're taking advantage of there being more people and getting even more specific things done, like the dishes and things like that. That's huge to put all those things together. So tell me something else that has helped you, helps you guys as a family in your home.
Yeah, no, I know the container concept has been so important in every stage, in every day since getting prepared to move. If it didn't fit in the box, it couldn't go. It had to find a home in Illinois. When we got a new table, God blessed us with a new table. And I had not even asked him for a table. Our table seated 6, and there are 7 of us. And when our friends were selling their table, their amazing 8-seat table, I had to find a home for my very special 6-seating table. And I was able to do that. And I was able to let go and bless someone else. Table free to good home on Facebook. And someone came along and is able to use it and able to fit it to work in their home. And I was okay to let go. I might have shed a tear because a lot of work went on that.
I know. It's hard, but you went in, one outed because you accepted the realities of the space that you had.
I did. So I did. Yeah, I would have loved to keep the table.
You know what
that
me.
feeling
I love
of,
my tables.
How many dining rooms tables can we have in our home?
Exactly.
One will fit in my home, let me tell you.
Yeah. So did you have to get rid of a lot of stuff there in Alabama?
In Illinois, I had to get rid of a lot. And then when we moved from the rental house, yes, I had to get rid of a lot.
Okay. And you went ahead and got rid of it, or have you put any of it in storage?
I have a storage space out in our barn. Yes, I do have a small space where I can store. I put the kids' children's clothes out there, the clothes that are the next size up or the wrong season. All of those clothes have to fit out there, along with a few freezers and all of the furniture that I don't have space for currently that I would like to use as soon as we're finished building.
So that's helped you prioritize what is worth storing.
So much.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's hard. It's hard to not, when you don't know what's coming. Do you know what size house you're building? I mean, is that process already started?
Yes. It's about 2,000 square feet.
Okay. So it'll even be a little bit smaller than what you had in Illinois?
Yes. But that's okay. It's a very well thought out space. The plans are drawn. It is exciting.
How fun. So let's talk about some of the things that you want to, like, challenges that you might have or struggles that you want to talk through today.
So I know one of the ones that's hard, I'm really struggling with at the moment is either my house is in order or my car is in order. And I haven't figured out exactly how to get the two of those in order at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you have any suggestions for rhythms, or
are you, I'm just going to ask, are you step shifting between the two?
The donate that goes out there doesn't always get out there fast, get to where it needs to go fast enough. I'm sure that's part of it. Okay. I also have a box of things that won't fit in the house that I won't even allow in the house.
Okay, so they are in they're in there as storage or what?
Well, right now they're stored. Yeah, in a way, I won't let Nerf guns and stuff like that inside the house. It's too small of a space, and there's too many babies to have Nerf guns in here. And they're wonderful. They're really fun to run around with outside and different things, but I can't have them inside the house.
Right.
And I may just go ahead. I have to get rid of those or something.
So, I'm not sure. Well, let's talk about it though. Assuming that, it is something, I'm assuming, I know when my kids were that age, that was something that they loved to play with a lot. So let's say you were going to keep it, but is it stored in the vehicle because you take them other places and play with cousins, or is it stored in there just because you need a spot for it?
Probably because it cannot come in the house. I feel like it shouldn't come in the house.
Okay.
I feel like a whole bunch of Nerf guns in this house would not be a very positive thing, but because it's such a small space. But they have been very fun to play with cousins. Yes, we do travel to my sister's, play with her children, and they have Nerf guns. So
Do they play with them outside at your house
they do.
now?
They
Okay.
do.
Okay. Is there any type of outside storage that they could be in since they're kind of an outside toy at your house?
I'm not sure that I would throw them in the van to go somewhere. So I might be, but I might be able to let go of those from riding around in the car because they do take up some valuable space. It's a 15 passenger van, but there are quite a few seats in the van. So
Are the Nerf guns the problem in the van?
not the biggest problem. No, the latest left in school items. We do homeschool, but we do participate in a community on Tuesdays, for example. So when we come home, that stuff doesn't always climb back out of the van with a good routine.
Yeah. So I always hesitate to talk about vehicles because if anybody heard me talk about vehicles and then saw mine would be like, why is she talking about vehicles? Or if my husband, anyway, well, like they're not my.
You understand my pain. There we go.
I totally understand. What I would say is, I mean, you just told me that the 5-minute pickup works wonders inside the house. Okay.
True.
So the 5-minute pickup is equally possible in the vehicle, especially in a 15 passenger one where there is a little bit of room to move around when people are out of their car seats or whatever. So, implementing the 5-minute pickup there little by little, instead of, which I'm guessing you've already learned, that it's not always as effective to have this big plan that you explain to the kids, but instead say, okay, you already know we work 5 minutes in the house, picking things up, putting it away, people having jobs. We're going to do that here too. Like, so to take something they already know, it's not something new, and just, here's trash bags or whatever, Walmart bags, whatever it is that you have that they can, obviously you don't want the 1-year-old and the 2-year-old to have trash bags, but you know what I mean, using your brain and all that kind of stuff. But going through that and saying, we're going to apply that here and try it once,
that sounds so much more effective than the crisis cleaning that I try to do before Sundays when my husband has to get in the car and we all have to fit comfortably on the way to church and not get, something left from chocolate, from Tuesday or Wednesday, on us from while we're headed to church, Yeah,
but that's kind
that does sound effective.
Try what's already working in the house, try that in the car, and then try it again as you are inspired to. The reason why I'm saying it like that is I can see that if you have your homeschool co-op or whatever it is you go to on Tuesdays, is that what day you said? Tuesday?
Yes.
If you go there on Tuesday, say, okay, this is going to be part of our routine. Like, I don't know if you already have any kind of a routine, and if your kids are listening, maybe turn this part down, but like, do you guys go get an ice cream cone, or do you go?
We could, yes, our children do.
Is there something that you do? I know
we could make ice cream. Yes.
Oh yeah. My kids and I were talking, just random kind of look into the future for you, but like, we were just at the dinner table the other night talking about how when they used to go for this gymnastics class, it was Tuesdays. It was the most stressful day of my week because we would do gymnastics and we would do grocery shopping. And it was before, online ordering and all that kind of stuff. And it was just so exhausting. And we would go through this taco place. That was what we did. And they each got their 89-cent burrito that, anyway. And it's like, they have all these memories of that specific day. And so I'm like, okay, so if, you probably already have something that you do on the way home from co-op or whatever it is, that you could maybe pair with a 5-minute pickup. Okay, guys, we're going to do, we do this after we run through whatever drive-through. I'm not encouraging that if you don't want to, but you know what I'm saying. But something that you do, or we go to the park or whatever. And so we're going to fill up these trash bags. Everybody gets, all the kids who are old enough to handle it get a trash bag, and then they all have.
Incentive is everything. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have some popsicles in the freezer and pull them out as soon as you get finished.
But yeah, like it's that, and you make that part of the routine. But the reason I was saying first to just do 1 5-minute pickup is you don't want to get into this situation where you're like, this is what we're going to start doing. And then it doesn't occur to you next Tuesday. And then it doesn't occur to you the next Tuesday. I'm like, first for now, just say, oh my goodness, this is driving me crazy. Let's do a 5-minute pickup. Or, oh wow, if we do 5 minutes, we're going to be late. So we're going to do a 2-minute pickup and see what we can do. Or just do it when you think of it, when it drives you crazy. Experience the benefit. What?
Not turn it into a project.
Right. And then experience the benefit of it and realize, oh, that made a big difference. And then do it again, and then do it again, and then start to try pairing it with something that's part of your routine anyway, because you're doing that in the house and it's making a huge difference. So because that's working, because your kids already understand how to participate in that and contribute to that, see if you can transfer that to, the car. And you could do, I'm looking at your ages of your kids, but you could do like your 7-year-old and your 6-year-old are the bag holders, and the 3, 2, and 1 are the picker uppers of things. Maybe the 7-year-old has the stuff that needs to go in the house and the 6-year-old has the trash or whatever it is. But, something where that starts to become we can actually do something in this amount of time, says the woman whose car is ridiculous right now. So anyway, it's an idea. What I'm trying to do is say, okay, how can we work that into reality?
I love that. Thank you.
So what's another situation that you want to talk about?
Okay, so I love opening our home to guests. And that was something that was really important to us really important to me, that I made sure was clear to my family when we moved into a smaller space. And our office, we turned the master bedroom into an office and a school room. The smallest bedroom is my husband and mine. And the medium-sized bedroom in this house is the children's bedroom. And they have a twin bed and then a set of triple bunks where the 2 youngest are on either end. So I have a space where I have a separate bedroom, and it has a recliner that is like a love seat recliner situation. And then I love grabbing it's so heavy. My husband really loves it, but grabbing the queen size mattress out of the horse trailer or something and bringing it inside and being able to accommodate a family of 5 traveling from North Carolina to Texas, just come on, crash here. And we've accommodated my friend's mother-in-law, who is 93. We have just loved being able to open our home. So any tips that you have with kind of those perimeters for just opening your home to hospitality is so important to me. And I hear it in your voice when you talk about it. Just, you want to be able to open that door and let people in and let them stay if possible. Anything you have idea wise or after talking to other people in small spaces, I would love to hear it.
Well, I think my philosophy on that has always been the thing that I thought of, which was my big motivation to have an apartment when I was in college, because I would always say, I'm like, I just want a place to be. Like, I just want us to be able to hang out and be without having to pay for a meal at a restaurant and I'll sit around it, and then feel like we're overstaying our welcome or whatever. We just wanted a place to be. And so when that's your goal, it sounds like you're already making it work. But then there comes the hangout time. I know for us, it turns into, you have to embrace the reality of what you have. Like for us this year, we have put a lot of work into our backyard. And when I say a lot of work, I don't mean a lot of money. I mean a lot of sweat, and it's mostly just been decluttering, getting rid of the junk that had collected back there, because we just kind of, we'd go in the backyard for a few things, but we just haven't used it until the last year. But now we use it all the time, because for us, that's the only place where we felt comfortable having people hang out and just be. And so it was like, okay, this is the situation that we're in. And so this is what I need to do. This is what I need to focus on. So for you, this is the situation that you are in. It's that you have a small space for right now. So what is it that you need to do? Are there some things that could be moved out during the time periods where you have people there? I mean, where you could go even more minimalistic inside your living room, and it's like, okay, for the 3 days that somebody's going to be here, we are going to, everybody's going to eat on their laps, and we're going to get rid of that table and put it in the barn for, even though that's a hassle, it allows you to be, you know what I mean? Like it's that kind of thing. Or it's, we're going to work on creating some sort of an outdoor space, even if it's not perfect, even if that means, I've actually turned into so much more of an outdoor space person over the course of the last year because I love it. Like I do a lot of my computer work, book writing, all that kind of stuff. I do it outside. I mean, my dogs, I better be careful saying the word outside because they're laying over there. But I mean, like it's been the best year of their life, because we spend so much time out there together, and your kids are little. This is the time of their life that being out there is probably the most fun thing that's ever happened. And so putting some time and some effort, whether that's even gathering garage sale camping chairs or, whatever, so that you can do that. I mean, it's not always perfect because of course it's going to rain sometimes when people are there, but just saying, okay, this is the thing that's worth it to me to be able, that makes it possible for me to entertain, is to have more outdoor seating. This is where I'm going to put a little bit of effort, money, search time at thrift stores or whatever into is getting that, even if it's something that maybe isn't absolutely perfect and it will get rained on and we'll have to get rid of it eventually because it won't survive too long. That's what's going to make it possible for here. I know I've seen some amazing, I just was taking my daughter somewhere and we were driving through the country, and of course it made me go, oh, I want that. But, but it was like, they'd gotten those, I think they're paver stones or something. And they just out in the middle of basically a field, they had put all these paver stones down and then a little fire pit, on that, and then chairs around it. And I was like, that is so incredibly simple, but it looks so inviting. Like that's a place to go be together. So do you guys utilize your outdoors very much?
We do. We do.
Yeah.
The children spend a lot of time out in the barn. We have a really large barn structure.
That's great.
And then we do have the fire pit, but it does not, at this time, a lot of the seating has just kind of, it's been utilized or chewed on by puppies and just kind of moved on to the next home. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Last summer was the summer of puppies, 4 puppies to go with our Irish Wolfhound. And so we're a little bit short on, I think that would be a great answer. I really love that. And just kind of, like you said, invest just a little bit out there around. We have an incredible garden. My husband is a wonderful horticulturalist, very hard worker, and we just have the funnest garden already. And it kind of borders a fire pit at the moment, and turning that, maybe putting some mulch down or doing something just to make it around that fire pit, and then getting some seating. That may be as simple as that. Just another place.
What can we do to be comfortable out here? To be, so that you've got your spot where the kids may be running around and playing, but you can just sit there and drink your coffee, or you can sit there and just have a glass of ice water, or whatever it is that you kind of makes you feel a little more relaxed. That's something that then you can do with, a guest, and giving yourself permission to do things differently than maybe you did it when you had a 2,000 square foot house. Maybe when you had a 2,000 square foot house and you had a house guest, it was really fun to cook breakfast. I mean, I know my husband loves cooking breakfast. Well, he also really has gotten to where he likes cooking breakfast over a campfire. So it's like, let's try something new, because this is the reality. If we were to do it on a campfire or on a fire pit, then, or on a grill or whatever, then we could have the brunch or whatever it is that we wanted to host, that kind of scratches that hospitality itch, that it feels like I can't really host a big brunch in my 900 square foot house, but I can do that out here, and I can still cook stuff inside and serve it out there, One of the things we did last summer, because, last summer, I was not the only person in the world who decided to start living outdoors more. And it was impossible to find outdoor furniture, which is something I'd always wanted. And I couldn't even get it, so, and I had ordered some, it still took like a month and a half to get to me. But, we just used a folding table from Walmart, like an 8-person folding table. And I like my new stuff better. My family has never noticed the difference. They don't care. Like, it never bothered them that we had that. But those kinds of things will let you experience that, but you're in a situation, because there's no boundaries outside. That's what's nice, right?
That's right. That's true. There are 50 acres. There's no reason for you
That's so
children
exciting.
to be running around inside.
Yeah. Well, and that becomes the reason people like to come to your house. You know what I mean? Like, it becomes the special thing about your house. I have a friend who is quite literally the most hospitable person I've ever known in my whole life, but part of her thing is she has this house. They might have like 6 or 7 acres, I think, but she has, and I don't know what you're at right now, but she has like a concrete circle going around her house, for parking, because they're kind of on a country road. And so you have to have the parking within your property. And it's just a thing. Of course, my kids are too old for it now. And so I see pictures on Facebook and it makes me sad, but she will, just say, hey, come on over and everybody bring your writing toys. And like, the kids will bring all sorts of kind of crazy writing toys. And that's the thing. That's why people love to go to that house, is because they've just embraced, this is our situation. Like, we're not in a neighborhood, but we're going to incentivize people to come out here, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just embracing what it is. But did you have land when you were in Illinois? I'm trying to.
We were in the middle of 12 acres. It was beautiful. Okay. It was all field and just, so lovely.
Yeah. Did you utilize your outdoor space there too?
Very much. Yes.
That's great.
But you were also inside 9 months out of the
year. Oh yeah.
Especially with small children. A lot of wind.
Oh, the wind. Interesting. I was thinking
crazy wind.
Wow. Yeah.
And a windy day in Alabama, a windy, cold day in Alabama. The children will step outside and they'll say, the ones who remember it, say, oh, it feels just like Illinois.
I think one of the things too that I've realized is I have to take advantage of the season. Because I think that was part of my issue before, why I didn't use my outdoors as much, was that the main times that we were just hanging out at home were winter, when it might or might not be okay to go out there, or the heat of summer when it was just too hot. And so now I'm like, oh, we're out there. It's beautiful right now. Let's go take advantage of it. And so, like planning some things for the times when it's comfortable out there, so that you then don't have the regret when it is too hot and muggy and people don't want to be outside, going ahead and saying, okay, we're going to do this, so that when that comes around and we don't feel like we can have people over, we don't have the regret of, oh, now we've gone another year. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I definitely want to thank my friend Karina for blessing me with the information about you. Aww. So thank you, Karina. And
can I ask you something? Can I ask you how that came up in conversation? How did that come up in conversation?
You said there's a podcast you have to listen to. And it was before your second book was out.
Okay.
And when I saw the title, I was a little tiny, just a twinge, you can't say offended, but I was like, it hurt a little bit, because it was something I was struggling with so much, and I wanted to be better. I wanted to have the dishes done. I wanted to have the rhythms in place. But if you don't know where to start, then you do have to start at the bottom and work your way up. So,
and that's actually why I'm asking.
Yes.
Because I get that question a lot from people of, how do I mention your stuff to a friend? So yes, you were offended. Did you tell her you were offended? Did she approach it in a way that...
Absolutely. And offended is too strong of a word, but that twinge of, that's true.
Okay.
That's a struggle of mine. And now I just tell people about you and your name, and then the names of your books, and have them start there. And I'll send them a specific podcast. They go, oh, I just can't get the dishes. It's just, or I can't get this done. And I'll send them a specific podcast that I know you talked about that because your podcasts are so well labeled.
Well, good.
I'm able to just go, okay, this one is going to help you.
Okay. And do you find people get offended, or do they, does that keep them
they're
from getting
always
offended?
very grateful. And a lot of times people are asking, maybe in a mother's group or something like that, just where to start if you are already completely exhausted. And energy, as a mother, is something that you have a very finite amount of. You realize how little you actually have, because you may have depleted all of your energy staying up with a sick child at night. Mm-hmm. You may be on a 3-day, just a tough time with a couple of kids being sick, or, mm-hmm. Somebody's gotten hurt, or just something has happened, a disruption, and you have more to get done with less time and less energy to put forth, and just figuring out how to have those tiny bits of time and make that count more.
Well, I think too, some of that in my memory, and still, is that because there's so much you can't predict when your kids are that young, because you, like you said, you might have been up in the middle of the night for 3 hours, but you also live your life knowing that I might be up in the middle of the night tonight for 3 hours. And so there's this temptation to conserve my energy because I don't know what's coming. I used to say, which is really inappropriate, but I used to say, like, having kids is like having diarrhea, because like you can't plan anything and be absolutely confident that it's going to be able to happen. Like at any moment, something is, should I not have said that? That was, no, a lot of kids listen. Not okay to talk about diarrhea unless your parents think it's funny too. Anyway, but really though, it was like, because it was like, I can plan, but who knows?
We could say it's like Corona. You just never know.
you just like, anything could happen at any moment, and I would have to drop this. Like I would have no choice but to drop it. And I think the beauty of going ahead and doing the dishes, not as a decision to make of, do I have the energy? Can I fit this in? Instead, say they have to be done. And so I get them done, even if they're not fully done, I still get them done. Then it gives me more energy because it's not weighing over my mind, because when things are weighing over my mind, then it's like, oh, when this happens, oh my goodness, it's going to put me that much farther behind. But if I can go ahead and work the dishes into small little pockets of time, little bit at a time, because I know it's a non-negotiable, then it somehow just frees me to not have that too. It doesn't feel quite as piled on when life happens. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
it makes perfect sense, because my previous method was to have a clean house, was to crisis clean. Okay, so somebody's coming over, I'm going to clean everything up. You can't do that with children. You can't do that with small children. You have their needs first. You don't get to clean for 2 hours. You might be able to clean your whole house in 2 hours, but you don't get to do that. You have interruption after interruption. Now I have 5 small children, and you want to talk about capacity, like God grows your capacity. My husband, I asked him for a quote because he's seen my growth these past few years. And he said, in the past few years, Jerry's capacity to manage the household, as well as her ability to clearly state what she needs from me, have greatly increased. Just God increases your capacity if you're willing to put forth the effort. And I was willing to put forth the effort, but I didn't know what effort. So that's where you come in.
So tell me what you think he means. I know he's not here to speak for himself, so we'll just say what we think he means. No, what do you think he means when he says your ability to clearly state what you need from him? Like what does that look like in y'all's home?
You did a podcast one time where you said something about telling your husband that you needed a hug from him, or telling your boy that you needed a hug from him. And I'm like, okay, no. Not a 1-arm hug, a 2-arm hug. Let's be specific. Or, I don't have time to take out the trash right now. Will you please take a moment to do this, this, and this? He will start the dishwasher now, because he sees me after the children are in bed, loading those last few dishes into the bed, into the dishwasher.
Into the bed? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So loading those dishes into the dishwasher
Mhm.
and how tired you can be in those months of pregnancy or just postpartum. And he'll just walk over, grab that bottle of soap, squirt it in, and close the dishwasher when I'm finished, and start that while I'm cleaning the sink there at the end. Just gotta celebrating the fact that the dishes didn't get me today.
Well, and I think what
There
you
at the
said,
very end.
right, what you said about I wanted to do it, I just didn't know what to do. That's the first step, is you figuring out what to do. And then once you know what to do, then you're able to ask for help. And I'm assuming, because I don't remember saying that about the hug, even though it's very true, but I'm assuming that what I was talking about was not being resentful when you haven't actually expressed what it is that you need. Not being
Yes.
resentful for somebody not reading your mind
Yes.
over all of that. Because it was I mean, if you listen to my stuff and read my books, it's the same story with my husband. Like, he wanted to help. It's just that he didn't know what I needed because I didn't know what I needed. And so I had to figure that out first. And then he was more than happy to help. But it's hard when it's like trying to predict something, or me wishing he would predict it. So I love hearing that he has acknowledged how helpful it's been for you to clearly state what you need, and that communication is really important. Yeah, that's good.
I agree.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I just wanted to say thank you for all the work that you've done. And I feel like while you've grown a business, you've also blessed so many people with or mothers or women or people who leave the cabinet doors open. I love that so much, because I'll look around and I'll go, okay, I've only got 7 cabinets and I've only 6 out of 7 are open. That's okay.
My husband just walked in, so sorry. Anyway, no, go ahead. Yes. No, I think there's hope even for those of us who are never going to close our cabinet doors.
They do get closed last thing in the evening now. It's great.
Yeah.
I always want to take a picture.
You can. What do you love about being a kindred spirit?
Oh, I love you're not going to experience negativity there. You're not. It's a very positive place. If you want somebody to celebrate with you just for a split second that you finished the dishes, even though your world fell apart today, it was a hard day or whatever. I got my dishes done, so tomorrow doesn't have to be the hard day too. It doesn't have to follow in suit. So
yeah, I think everybody understands it's worth celebrating the small things. It's worth,
absolutely.
Or sometimes you might feel like, if I was to say this in a different environment, people might be like, what? Why would
that's nice.
You would ever
Slap
go to bed with?
back.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not going to be that way. They get it. So
that's great. They're wonderful. They really are.
I love that. So
I never remember to take before pictures. I wish I had a Post-it note to write, before I declutter something, and just remember something to help me remember. I don't know how to remember to take before photos. I always get about halfway through the decluttering process, and I'm like, oh, I should have taken a before photo.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I really appreciate. I really
we can
appreciate
just nix everything that I just said.
No, I was just going to say, I really appreciate you being willing to come on and to share. I think it's great that you moved to more acreage and didn't automatically think that was a reason to go ahead and keep everything, because that transitional time that you're living in can be really, really hard for those of us who struggle with clutter. And I think you were just going to be so much farther ahead because you went ahead and embraced your right now, which that's all we have to embrace anyway. If there's nothing else we've learned in the last year, hopefully we've learned that.
Okay. What'd you guys think of that session? I enjoyed it. I love talking to my kindred spirits. I love talking to y'all. I just wanted to remind you that if you would like to be a kindred spirit, join our super secret Facebook group of lovely, supportive people and apply to do one of these sessions at some point. Though sometimes we go in phases. Okay. We go in phases of I'm doing a ton of recording and then I don't do some for a while. So there's no it doesn't happen immediately or quickly, but you have the chance to change your answers if it's been 6 months since you filled out the form or whatever. Anyway, but if you would like to see what that's all about, see if it's something for you, you can go to patreon.com/aslobcomesclean. All right. I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.